Throughout my life, I've gotten into conversations with people about video games. Mostly with other gamers, as you can guess. It's always fun to discuss what we like or what we don't like. And many times throughout my life, I'd get questioned by anybody from teachers to classmates, customers, even my own family as to why I'd waste my time playing those video games. Or maybe they'd refer to them as the Nintendos and the Segas or some other description meant to be dismissive of my hobby. It was less a question and more of a challenge meant to subtly let me know that they didn't really approve of them and that I was wasting my time enjoying them. The same goes for those from previous generations who shit on people who like classic comics or classic D&D. It's supposed to be kid stuff, toys to entertain you until you grow up. And for a while, yes, it was. And to those people who are watching and curious, you're about to learn why I and 2.5 billion other people play video games. But first, a little background. As I've said in several videos, I was born in the very early 80s. I'm told that I saw Return of the Jedi in the movie theaters, but I was way too little to notice or even remember it. But I do remember checking out Willow and the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in theaters. Seeing Big Trouble in Little China or a heavily edited version of Predator on the TBS Sunday Movie was a normal occurrence a few years later. This is just a side note, but if I remember correctly, everybody in that one got killed off screen, and it was really funny. It wasn't until I was about 4 or 5 that I was introduced to video games, as my parents, who had a rock band at the time, would have band practice and they'd stick me in front of the TV along with a ColecoVision for the evening. I had a few dozen games for it, and when I'd pop a cartridge into the console, a whole world opened up to me. Going to the arcade was even more exciting, as a few dollars would allow me to play great titles like Dragon's Lair, Star Wars, or Tron on larger screens, and with graphics and animation that my ColecoVision just couldn't handle. I'd sit with my mom or dad at a cocktail arcade machine in other places, and I'd try to impress them by getting as far as I could on whatever was playing on there. I've got memories of watching my mom play Crystal Castles at Shakey's Pizza. My grandparents would buy me lunch at the mall before bringing me to play some games for being good while they shopped, or while I kept my grandfather company on the bench because, let's face it, watching chicks shop can be hideously boring. Or I'd partner up with my dad while playing stuff like Ikari Warriors or Double Dragon. I'd play Ninja Gaiden or Mappy while my mom got me an icy from Woolworths. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't just about video games. The games are fun, don't get me wrong. Testing my reflexes and killing bosses is a great time. The kerchunk noise you heard from putting a quarter into the slot is irreplaceable too. But it's the memories around these games that make them special for us. Despite what some might call an obsession with gaming, I was still a pretty normal kid. I played outside with my family and friends, I made snowmen during the winter, had my best friend over to play Fireball Island, the real one, mind you, not the crappy re-release collecting dust at Target right now. Of course I did all those things. But I also got together with other friends at birthday parties to play through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or we'd take turns playing Skate or Die. We'd all chatter about which game on the Neo Geo cabinet we'd each play, and why I liked Magician Lord more than Ninja Combat or the Super Spy. We'd rest our quarters up on the screens of the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter machines. It is the universal, unspoken language for I got next game. And we'd study the person's playstyle, look for tells in how they played, or signs that we were just going up against some scrub and we didn't need to worry that the reputations we'd built up in our heads as masters of Scorpion or Chun-Li were in danger. At school, we'd bring over our Nintendo Power, EGM, or GamePro magazines and share passwords and cheat codes on Nintendo and Super Nintendo games we were working through. We'd sneak in Game Boys or the Tiger Electronics handheld games and play those at lunch in between talking about how great an Aliens vs. Predator or Freddy vs. Jason movie would be. And, you know, a couple decades later, we'd all be really disappointed by those actual movies when they released. It's no different than talking baseball player stats or which team we'd like to win the Stanley Cup and why they have a shot. It was exciting, and it could be a diversion from the boredom of school. It gave us weekends and sleepovers to look forward to. It fueled my creative writing to know and dream up other worlds in my head in addition to the ones that were already created by companies like Capcom or Konami. Or they were escapism from when life wasn't so great. And regardless of being a gamer or not, those things happen to everybody. And when you're an older kid, playing games instead of looking to alcohol or drugs seems like a pretty great alternative. When you're young enough to experience life's hardships but not have any control over them, it's easier to shut them out by spending hours prepping to take out Emerald or Ruby Weapon in Final Fantasy VII, or by inviting your best friends over during school hours to spank them at Puzzle Fighter and Tekken 3, or 4-player split screen with big heads and slappers only in GoldenEye 64. Competing with your buddies and talking about girls is a relief when you just want life to stop for a little while. The sting of a breakup can be dulled by playing something to take your mind off of it. And sometimes you don't always remember a specific game, but maybe everything else you did around it. Days driving along the beach while blasting music to hit a small used game shop you feel like you're the only one who knows of, which consequently later closes down because you probably were the only one to know of it. Or playing Marvel vs. Capcom at the movie theater until almost 3 a.m. trying to beat your buddy and finally doing it. I'm pretty sure he let me win, but I'm still calling that one for me. These bring memories of the freedoms of your youth, back when it was acceptable to actually have nothing better to do. Back before you have a family or other people in your life who rely on you and that higher calling takes priority. You don't just remember your PS2 Slim being a gift, but maybe it was a gift from someone you'd eventually marry. The library of games up on the wall are from right after that birthday when you both raided a local GameStop of every classic you never owned, so you could catch up on them, but this time it's going to be with someone who wants to share those first times booting up and experiencing those games with you. You got excited for 5 p.m. on Fridays because it meant a weekend of playing World of Warcraft together. Years later, you'd play these same games, along with lots of new ones with your kid. Many of them she'll choose herself and want to show you her own skills at, just like you did with your parents decades earlier. So the million-dollar question, why do we play? We play for fun. We play for excitement. We play to experience memorable stories and meet timeless characters. We play to be intrigued and engaged. We play to explore. We play to be challenged. We play to get engaged in something that politics hasn't ruined, at least not yet. Sometimes we play on the toilet because, honestly, it's the only time we can get any peace and quiet. We play to get on a team and compete, or to test our skill against strangers across the world who share the same love of gaming with us, and win or lose, we respect each other for just showing up and trying. Or they're rude and we smash them with a double perfect with a critical art finish because they're a scrub who picks Ryu every time and does nothing but throw Hadoukens and dragon punches over and over, and there's no one who's ever done that before in the history of Street Fighter. Sorry. People watch TV shows for entertainment, but with a controller, we can visit worlds we'll never see in real life, fight battles or save entire galaxies. We can be a hero or a villain or even something in between. Dying in a difficult level or boss repeatedly teaches you patience and to strategize and use teamwork to win. We can start a brand new adventure, or we can pop something old in and relive those memories again, bad or good. We can use a game's soundtrack as inspiration for a new project or idea, or to create our own games. Games can bring families and friends together or provide a necessary escape from the harshness of reality. At the same time, using blue shells will also destroy those same families and friendships. You can still dismiss this as just escapism for kids and trash gaming however you want. We've heard it all, and some of the more condescending remarks are just flaccid insults from ignorant people. Plenty of people I like and respect still feel this way about gaming. And I do understand that partly it's because games aren't real, or because it's unattractive to see someone staring at a TV like a zombie. I get it. But the detractors also tend to be the same people who devote entire days to watching athletes on steroids play sports while drinking beer and eating nachos, or binge-watching the latest TV show that shills on the internet tell them they should stream next, also with beer and nachos. For the record here, I'm not trashing beer and nachos, they're amazing. It's a hobby that I love and my reason for creating this channel, so that others could pop in and catch a video review or look back at old games or other features and just have a laugh watching or listening to someone across the country or world who feels the same way that they do about them. The logo symbolizes the rage quitting that we've all done at one time. And if all of this sounds even a little bit like you, hit the subscribe button and welcome to the club.
Don't you dare say it, jackpot!
Congratulations! You're one of an elite few to make it to the end of the video. Reward yourself by hitting the round subscribe button in the middle, and then check out the other goodies I've got and the links next to it.